Okay, this topic I'd like to talk to you about today is fats. Now, the three different types of food we mentioned at the very beginning were protein, carbohydrates, and fats. And a lot of people, as I said then, would always say, oh, well, that's the one we have to do without. But as you'll see, not one bit. You absolutely have to have your fats, but the good fats. So why do we eat fats? Well, first of all, we talked about earlier that it's a very good source of heat and energy. So it's going to cover your body organs and protect your body organs, but also give you a bit of insulation. But fat is a secondary source of energy after carbohydrate. Basically anything can be used as energy, protein as well. It helps to helps the body to absorb vitamins, and it provides essential fatty acids that the body can't make itself. But eating lots of fat can make you more likely to put on weight, because foods that are high in fat are also high in energy or calories. So 1 gram of fat is actually 9 calories.
But it tastes great.
Boy, doesn't it? A diet that's too high in fat is a major factor in the development of heart disease, some cancers, and of course obesity. So there are 3 different types that I want to talk to you about. First of all, you have the saturates. Then there's unsaturated fat, and then trans fats. So we'll talk about them in that order.
The good, the bad, and the ugly is what we would refer to them as.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're starting with the bad. The bad fat increases blood cholesterol, which can lead to heart disease. Examples are fatty cuts of meat like sausages and pies, butter, ghee and lard, cream, sour cream and ice cream, cheese, especially a hard cheese, pastries, biscuits and cakes, chocolate, coconut oil, coconut cream and palm oil as well.
And I know for a lot of people that are looking at it thinking, I love all that, but this does not mean, you're not never allowed to try these things again or eat these things again. That's unrealistic, but you're going to be able to find substitutes that are just, if not more, tasty.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing about saturates, you know it's saturated because it's solid at room temperature.
That's right.
Yeah. So check the label for saturated fat. So we've gone through labels earlier. High is actually more than 5 grams of saturates per 100 grams. Low is 1.5 grams of saturates per 100 grams. So again, you're looking at the red and the green labels just to make it easier. You know, the red and yellow, red, orange and green colour coding that they're now using, so that's really helpful.
Most shops have that now.
Okay, the unsaturates, that's where we're talking about the good fat. It helps lower your blood cholesterol and provides us with the essential fatty acids that the body needs. So the polyunsaturates are your oily fish, so your salmon, sardines, tuna, herring, mackerel. They're gorgeous.
Very tasty.
And then the monounsaturates, so avocado, nuts and seeds, sunflower, rapeseed, olive and vegetable oils, and spreads made from these. So as I say, I want you to eat these because they are very, very good for you. But if you consume those all day, every day, because they're so high in calories, then yes, you could still end up obese. So the point is, they have to be part of your diet, but they're still going to be about 20 to 30%.
This is still quite a high percentage for in my opinion, for your 100% intake per day. And also the oily fish, you have all the omega-3s and 6s, which are great brain food, particularly for kids as well. Always making sure that kids eat, I would say, at least twice a week. You really want to have them eating, salmon or tuna. I know that's not always possible, but just keep it in your mind that great brain food.
Now, the third type of fat is your trans fat. That's the very bad fat. It increases your cholesterol and the risk of coronary heart disease. It has a higher melting point. It's cheap, mass-produced. It extends shelf life, but it's mainly found in foods containing hydrogenated vegetable fat or oil. It's not generally labelled trans fats in most countries, so you might just be looking for hydrogenated vegetable oil or fat. It's found in pastries, biscuits and cakes and fried food most often. But you can check jars, things that you have on your shelf and see whether or not you've got that label, hydrogenated vegetable fat.
Well, hydrogenated vegetable fat is quite different in that it has been heated to such a high degree that it's actually changed the molecular structure. And so whenever you eat it, your body cannot physically break it down. So there has been this sort of, I don't know, it's an epidemic of the muffin top, and we all know that area that we're talking about. And a lot of people believe that particular area, even though a lot of people are quite slim elsewhere in the body, they tend to have this slight overhang or overspill, and they think that that's due to hydrogenated vegetable oil because it stores a particular area, and it's so hard to shift. It's so hard to shift, so be aware of not piling into. I mean, it will eventually leave with exercise, but probably, it's going to take a little bit longer. So just be very aware of reading your labels and eliminating any food that has it in it.
Okay, so in summary, your saturated fat is the bad fat. It increases your LDL, which is your lower density lipoprotein, so the bad cholesterol. The unsaturates are your good fat, increases the HDL, high density lipoprotein, and that's the good cholesterol. The trans fats are doubly bad because they increase the LDL and decrease the HDL.
There's a lot of stuff that you should just keep in mind with hydrogenated vegetable oil, that the trans fat is that it tends to make a lot of foods very smooth, it makes them crunchy. It can sometimes even be in something like a fruit juice. There was one product that was made with a fruit juice, and it made it so as the fruit juice became very, the texture of it was very free-flowing, and so it's everywhere, and it's a really, really big one to check for.
By the way, your fully hydrogenated vegetable oil or fat,
yeah, of course.
If it says fully hydrogenated, they have actually potentially taken out of the bad fats, and it's okay. So that's
a little confusing, but yes,
actually,
yes.
But that's the one. Okay, I want to talk to you a wee bit more about the components of fitness. There are 5 different types. In order to be fit, you actually need to be a minimum standard in all 5 areas. Now, this is not something that I want you to dwell on. It is just literally, let's have a look at them quickly. Muscular strength. What's muscular strength, Julie? What sort of exercises are you doing there? Why would you want to be strong?
Well, it's just important to be able to lift up your child, to be able to take your groceries home. I mean, it's as simple as that. It doesn't need to be any more complex.
Okay. Endurance.
It's holding position.
Aerobic fitness.
Whether you're walking, jogging, running, doing a cross trainer.
Flexibility.
It's good because it's great for sort of keeping mobility in your spine, being able to bend over it. 80 years old, and tie your shoelaces.
Exactly.
But all of that's included. We know that some of you have been working away and learning lots of snippets of new information about your exercise and probably quite into it now, but there may be some of you that actually haven't. But I don't want this to put you off. If you haven't started, try and get started now. Go and look at the walking program. Don't keep putting it off and putting it off. But I think the most important thing that we're going to be touching on right now is your body composition.
Yes.
I'm going to break that down for you because it is used a lot. You hear it used a lot.
I mean, every week I'd be putting people on the scale. Obviously, that's what people are looking for, always looking at their weight.
Yeah.
But I hope that you've gathered that it's not the be-all and end-all, not the most important thing. There are other measurements that you can look at for your composition. And one very important one is your body fat percentage. Mm-hmm. You get different types of scale that can tell you that. Otherwise, you can have it done professionally with the skin fold calipers, many other methods of doing that. But just, a decent pair of scales would tell you.
It can be quite shocking for people as well who are thin. You may be very slim, thin, but still have quite a high percentage of body fat.
Mm-hmm. So recommended body fat percentages, there's male and female. You can have a look for yourself. But it's a very broad range. To be considered healthy, it's actually quite an extended range. Mm-hmm. If you had too little body fat, your body obviously wouldn't function as well. So that would be considered underweight. But somebody that's exceptionally fit could also have quite a low body fat. Mm-hmm. Remember, females always have more than males because of the extra fatty deposits that they have around the body.
I know. That's just life.
Yeah. Thirdly, there is your lean mass, and that again would be part of your the scales, you know, the Tanita scales or whatever you have. And lean body mass is the rest. It's your muscles, your bones, everything else in the body bar the fat.
Your packing that holds it all together inside.
Yeah. And then you've the fat distribution. What's the difference between apple and pear, Julie?
Well, you tend to hold more weight around your waist when you're an apple and more around your thighs whenever you're a pear. I think you know probably which one you are or tend towards being.
Okay, the unfortunate thing is an apple shape is far more visceral fat. It's far more dangerous for you. So, you know,
it surrounds your organs very often, particularly as you're getting older. It is a fat that you do find a lot of women say, oh gosh, I just cannot shift this extra weight around my tummy, and it more often than not it's a visceral fat, and it goes unnoticed a lot of times, so just be aware of it.
So yeah, storing that extra fat, you're definitely in a higher risk of cardiovascular disease.
Yeah.
Now, one that I just wanted to touch on briefly is your body mass index, because it's a measure of height to weight, and it's always in the news, isn't it?
Yes.
What the NHS or the government want is obviously for people to lose weight, and they're always classifying obese, or they're always stating obese statistics, and that's for anyone with a BMI over 30. But the problem is it doesn't actually distinguish between weight associated with muscle and weight associated with fat. So somebody that is actually extremely fit with a high muscle weight can actually be classified as obese, so it's not a great measure. Really.
It's not really, and that's what I'm saying. Just be aware of it, because it is the one that's used a lot, and you hear it a lot, but don't put too much emphasis on it.
Overcoming overeating is a massive problem for a lot of people, and essentially it comes back down to fear, your fear for overcoming it.
Yeah, there's so many aspects out there. It may be a situation that you have a lot of deeper problems in relation to overcoming overeating. This is, as we keep saying, this is your journey. Sometimes you may find you come across things that you really need to address at a deeper level. But if it's something that you find generally it's become an habitual thing, overeating, and you're doing it just because you're bored or you're lonely, I think that the next pointers will be of help to you.
Some strategies. First of all, know your portion sizes, and we have been through this in an earlier session. Perhaps go back and revise the portions.
Yeah.
We could also use smaller plate sizes. Remember how to divide your plate. Remember it's half vegetables and salad, a quarter lean protein, a quarter of your low GI carbohydrates, and perhaps you need to go back and start that again. You maybe started at the beginning and thought, okay, I'll do it now, but go back, revise your plates. Fill up on fibre. Fibre, of course, is going to fill you and keep you sustained for an awful lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
Surround yourself with positive people who motivate you to reach your goals.
So important. Again, can't emphasize that.
Positivity.
Any negativity can just throw you right off track.
Bring home healthy fast food. If you're having a fast food night, then make sure you're choosing the healthier options, which we'll go through a bit
Thai
more.
is very often the healthier one, or you can get
Japanese.
healthier, Japanese, or well, not everybody has Japanese, certainly not where I'm from. I think it's looking and exploring that what is going to be the best out of the bad lot, but we'll discuss that in greater detail.
Yeah, we'll go through the fast food restaurants and see what's healthier. Stop the taste testing habit in the kitchen.
Yes, I think a lot of times, I mean, you're not even conscious that you're dipping your finger in and tasting, and really by the time you've actually made your meal, you've already had, for some people, a full dinner in itself, and then you're sitting down to have another one. So just make that connection again, what you're physically doing, and be aware of it.
Make fruit your dessert. There's some absolutely gorgeous recipes in the Me, Myself and Diet Express book. I just love the cashew baked apples. There's a lot of
nice crumbles, yes. Jellied berries.
Roasted cinnamon pears. Delicious.
Don't deny yourself if dessert is your thing. That's fine, but just look at having, the healthier option, and you will find that your palate will adjust to that very, very quickly.
Or you have the frozen grapes, don't you?
Yeah, or blueberries or blackberries.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's quite a nice evening treat.
Keep yourself busy, always doing things, and then that way it'll keep you away from the food. Buy snack-size portions rather than the huge big bags.
If you are the kind of person that can't really have a snack size because you'll sit down and think this is a snack size Snicker bar and you've bought a whole bag of it, in my opinion, I think that you just shouldn't bother buying them, not for yourself, not for the kids. And it's something, I know it might be a short-term goal for you, but hand on heart, if you're thinking you're going to sit down to a small Snickers bar when you normally eat a big one will not be enough, and then you'll have the availability of having 20 of them there. So you need to know yourself, find out if it's worth having in the house.
It definitely works for some people. Some of the people that I've worked with, they have the Snickers bar, they have them there, but they're used as a treat because it is part of the chocolate bar that we would recommend ahead of the others. But they have it as a treat, and then they can use it if they really desperately need it.
But if you tend to be somebody who leans towards overeating, that snack size bar or that bag is really not a good idea. And there are so many other healthy options that you can go for.
Try drinking a glass of water or two. That's something, again, we've emphasised earlier. You've got to get that water in you, and it is one way of giving yourself that fullness.
Just experiment with it. Try it. We're not asking you to do something, but you're actually trying it. You will find that once you have that glass of water, you're not really thinking about having a snack anymore.
When you feel the urge to snack, take an exercise break. Make rules that work for you and your family.
Very, very definitely. That's a great one, and it can be fun as well. I mean, in the commercial breaks in TV, make it that the youngest can go out and bring in a choice of one of the 4 healthy snacks that you have, not a big bag of crisps. And if there is an issue with health, maybe with one of the parents, and you're not having chocolate in the house, that's fine. But go out together, maybe take a chance with the kids, and see what other options that you can come up with that are really tasty and satisfying.
Make a rule that if there is somebody in the house that isn't too bothered about eating a chocolate bar and isn't, they would have to eat it in their room or away.
Yes.
Or don't even. That's a rule. Okay, some tricks for dining out. Inquire about portion sizes for a start. I mean, some restaurants really do pile the plates high.
And funnily enough, it's very often the cheaper ones that tend to pile it high because they do buy in bulk. And it's in a lot of American restaurants, you sometimes get so much on your plate, it's almost difficult to figure out how you're ever going to get through it. And again, just make it clear to them, I want a small plate, or bring a small plate on the side.
Or just order the entree size. Share it with a friend. Decide ahead of time what you'll order. So you can look online for restaurant menus these days and find out, and then just stick with it. Don't be swayed by any specials or anything. Don't be afraid to make substitutions in ingredients and cooking methods. So there are plenty there, asking for steam or stir-fried options, less cheese, sour cream, gravy, ask for more vegetables, like on your pizza and pasta.
I think it used to be a very American thing, because I lived there a long time, to ask for everything on the side or ask for extra of. But I think pretty much now everywhere it's expected. A lot of waiters and waitresses, they know that people are wanting changes, or they're aware of their diet. So don't feel embarrassed about it. Again, take control. This is your choice, and it's up to you what you eat. You're paying for it.
So don't pick at the food left on the table. Avoid the bread. Just ask the waiter to take things away. If they're just hand delivered, just thank you, but no thanks.
Yes, and sometimes just if they aren't taking it away, put a napkin over your plate. Move it to the side.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yes, I think really if you've got a napkin on your plate and all of a sudden you start lifting it up and picking at it, I don't really think you're going to be as inclined to do that if it's out of reach. So there's lots of different little things that you can do to make those small changes.